Today, we're going to talk about a very specific kind of loneliness. The kind that seems to stick to some of the brightest people out there. It's a feeling a lot of us have, but it's really hard to put into words.
I mean, does this feel familiar? You're in a conversation, maybe at a party, maybe just a work meeting, and everyone else seems to be on the same page. They're connecting, laughing, but you? You feel just out of sync. It's not that you don't want to connect. It's just that the connection itself feels like it's just out of reach. Almost like you're broadcasting on FM while everyone else is on AM, right?
And that feeling, it often boils down to something exactly like this. It's not about being disliked, not at all. It's this much more subtle, quiet sense that you're always on the outside looking in. You're a great second or third option, but you're never the person someone just instinctively turns to first. It's this quiet little ache that's just so hard to explain.
So, here's the big idea we're going to dig into. What if this feeling of loneliness isn't some personal flaw? What if it's not a sign that you're broken or bad at socializing? What if it's something else entirely, a direct result of the unique way your brain is wired? This is really the heart of it. The loneliness you might be feeling, it might not be about a lack of social skills at all. It could just be a side effect of having a mind that processes the world with a bit more depth, that sees connections others don't, and, that just carries more complexity. Think of it like you're running a different operating system, and sometimes it just has trouble syncing up with everyone else's software. All right, let's get into the mechanics here. Why does small talk feel so exhausting? Why do you walk away from a perfectly nice chat feeling more drained than you were before? To really get that, we need to pop the hood and see what's happening underneath. Turns out this whole feeling of a social mismatch can be broken down into 3 key ideas. And once you see how these pieces fit together, all those confusing, draining social moments might start to make a whole lot more sense. Think of it like a 3-piece puzzle. The first piece is something called cognitive pacing. The second is the social mismatch itself. That's the feeling we've been talking about. And the third piece, the one that really locks it all together, is called social signal hyperawareness. So let's break down what each of these really means. First up, cognitive pacing. Okay, imagine you're walking with a friend. You naturally just fall into the same rhythm, right? But what if your natural pace is a power walk, and theirs is a slow, meandering stroll? You're constantly having to slow yourself way down, or they're huffing and puffing trying to keep up. That's exactly what cognitive pacing is in a conversation. It's this fundamental difference in the speed and the depth of how you process ideas. And this really shows you the difference in action. On one side, you've got your typical conversation. It's often more of a social ritual, right? It follows a pretty straight line. We talk about the weather, what we did over the weekend. But on the other side, you see how a mind with a faster cognitive pace works. It's all about exploring, jumping from one abstract idea to another, diving down these fascinating complex rabbit holes. And when these two styles meet, it can feel pretty frustrating for everybody. And that difference in pacing, that leads us straight to our second concept. The social mismatch. This is the name for that feeling of being completely out of sync. It's what happens when your mind is starving for a deep, complex exchange, but your social environment is only serving up surface-level small talk. It's like being a deep-sea diver stuck in a kiddie pool. There's just nowhere to go. And then there's the final layer, the thing that makes it all so much more intense. Social signal hyperawareness. Your brain isn't just processing the words people are saying. Oh no, it's analyzing everything. Every tiny facial twitch, every little shift in tone, every single pause. You're constantly running these social calculations in the background, trying to figure out, are they bored? Did I lose them? Was that jump too weird? And it turns a simple chat into this incredibly high-stakes, mentally exhausting performance. Okay, so we've kind of diagnosed the problem, we see the mechanics behind the feeling, but what does all of this mean for actually finding the connection we're all looking for? This is where we shift gears from just understanding the why to exploring the what now. And listen, this may be the most important takeaway of all. Learning about this stuff, it isn't a fix. It's not a magic pill that's going to make loneliness disappear forever. What it is, though, is a really powerful framework for understanding yourself. It gives you a language for your experience. And more importantly, it lets you stop blaming yourself for something that, at its very core, is just a matter of how you're built. Let me just say that again because it is so, so important. Your mind is not broken. It is not flawed. It is simply different. And recognizing that difference, and I mean really accepting it, That is the most powerful first step you can take toward feeling a little less alone in this world. So, I'll leave you with this thought to chew on. We spend so much time searching for that perfect connection, right? For someone who thinks at our exact speed, who gets all our weird jumps and tangents. But what if that's the wrong goal? What if true connection isn't about finding a perfect cognitive match, but about finding those rare, wonderful people who can see the mismatch and are curious enough and kind enough to try and build a bridge across it with you?